you could go into the data set and you could say, all right, I'm going to import this into Excel. And those are all very viable ways that you can look at this data. I would recommend that you take the data and import it into ChatGPT, InnoPower.ai, whatever AI tool you're using. Import it in and just start out and just query it and see where it goes. And then, like I said, we'll pull you all together. We'll give you about 15 minutes to do that, query the data set, download it. Then at the end of 15 minutes, I'm going to pull you all into breakout rooms. You'll have your conversations, have a speaker, identify a speaker. And then when we come back together in a half hour, I would like for us to take not necessarily all, but some of the folks in the room. I'd like for them to talk about what they got out of what they learned in general from the people that were in the room with them. So is that clear as mud?
Yes.
Mark?
There's my
Okay. Okay. Julie, yes, you just came up. So you just said it's clear as mud. Can you repeat it back so that to make sure I communicated to you what I wanted?
All right. So we click the link. It takes us to where we have some data sets. We'll go through the data sets, pick any of the data sets, download it into ChatGPT, or we can browse through the data set, get some information, take it into ChatGPT and GBT, sorry, ask questions, and then just get some information with the data set. And then when we go into our breakout sessions, we'll all discuss what we found, the data set we used, and then we just generally discuss how AI worked around the data. That's my understanding.
You've got it. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And I would suggest to you the first question you ask is once you get it uploaded, what type of data is in this data set? You don't even have to know what the type of data is, where you downloaded it from. You can just say, what is the type of data in this data set? And go from there. Okay. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do that. And then then I will go ahead and put you in breakout rooms and you'll be put in randomly. So hopefully you'll be with somebody you haven't been with before and you can have a conversation about it. And I'll give you a heads up on that. Any questions? Okay, here we go.
Hello. Hi, Chris. I had been kicked out of the meeting. I cannot find the link to the homework, to the data set. Can you repost it in the chat again? Thank you. It's Valeria.
Yes, I will do that right now.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, that was fast. Thank you, Martha.
Yeah, well,
You've got about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left.
Hi, Chris. I got kicked out and I've not joined a group at all, if I've missed that. I've not been put into a breakout room if that's where we're at right now.
Hi, we haven't assigned anybody to a breakout room yet. You've got 1 minute and 35 seconds before we do that.
Okay, great, because I got kicked out of the class, but brilliant. Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry, Mr. Chris. After downloading the document on the data set, what did you say we should do with it on ChatGPT on our AI tool?
Yeah, so just ask it start out by asking what kind of data is in the file and just take it from there. Query it, ask it if it, are there any trends in it, anything interesting in it? Just see what ChatGPT gives you once you upload that file.
Yeah, mine says it can access it because it requires login or something.
Did anybody else have that issue?
What do you say? I copied the link and pasted on my ChatGPT, and it said it can access it because of login request.
I wonder why.
I didn't have that problem.
I
So you
didn't
need
have
to
that problem
download the
either. I used
document and
Gemini.
upload the document. Not the link, but the document that you downloaded from the link.
Yep.
I uploaded the link and ChatGPT responded very well.
Okay. My little timer says we're done. So I'm going to kick you into the rooms. If you didn't manage to get a data set and get it uploaded, that's okay. Just go ahead and be a participant in the room. So here you go.
Can we share our screen? Is it possible to share our screen? Especially for
Yes.
those who did not download it.
Yes, you can share your screen in the breakout rooms. If you haven't already, go ahead and join your breakout rooms.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Chris. Hello,
Hello.
Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. This is Bolanle.
Hi, Blondley.
Hi. Please, after doing the section, in between the section, I will send the link regarding the post-assessment form. So the student, they will need to fill that.
Okay.
Just let me
Okay.
pass the information across. I will send the link in the
You
chat
can
box.
you can just actually put the link in the chat, and then when I see that link pop in, I'll mention it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
I was in breakout room 4, but it kicked me out. So I'm trying to go back.
It kicked you out. Was that
Yes, I
because
think
you
it
were
was the network. I was trying to present and the network just dropped.
maybe you were doing something you shouldn't do?
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I managed. So I was trying to speak to the team on what I discovered,
Uh,
but it
well,
just kicked me out.
you're not alone. There are a whole bunch of people that looks like they just got kicked out. So, what
Yeah,
room were? Yeah, what room were you in again?
4.
You were in 4. Sorry, it didn't come up. What? Who is this? It didn't come up on my chat.
Brenda. This is Brenda.
Brenda. Okay. Yeah, I got you, Brenda. Room 4. There you go. Clarice, what room did you get kicked out of? How about Dr. Almona?
Yeah, hi, Chris.
Hi. What room were you in?
Um, Actually, I don't know. Room 8.
Room 8. Here you go. Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Ralatu? No, I'm sorry. Puuna. Puuna. There we go. Puuna. There's 2 of Puunas. Hello? Hello. Valeria, how about you?
Hi, Chris. It's Valeria. I also got kicked out.
Valeria.
Yes, I wasn't even sure which room I was in.
You just want me to pick one?
Yes, I don't mind. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Here you go. I'll just assign these. There we go. All right, everybody should be coming back here in just a sec. Okay, everybody should be back now. So I had you go in and I asked you to all, I asked you all to try to download a data set and then take it into Chat GPT or InnoPower.ai. You spent 15 minutes querying the data, and then you went into a group setting where you had another 15 minutes where you got to collaborate on what each other had found, what you understood about the data set, any new capabilities, anything like that that came up. So what I'd like to do now is let's talk about that. You know, I'd like for you to talk, I'll just open the floor up. Anybody can speak, and just say what you learned or what you didn't learn or what you found out, what was interesting, and also maybe include on how you might use it, outside of this training class.
Okay. Hello,
All right,
Chris.
I'll go.
My
In
name
my
is Ugo.
group, there was Bumi, Stedoibo, and Olomi, and I used Gemini. I just took the link and I put it into the Gemini and I asked, what is this data about? And it gave me a couple of information, which was, it is data sets from Kenya's economic survey. So it highlighted a few of those things around GDP and so forth in different sectors as well. And then the same for the people in the group, that they were able to download a page and then be able to have data that was they were able to have data in percentages or whatever they asked from the link That, you know, we sort of talked about what you could use the data for projection of businesses. Maybe you have a client and you want to see how you can project sales or so forth. Also, you could actually maybe make a comparison. For example, I'm a researcher, for example, so I think I use that example that if I'm a researcher and I see that there is a sector that is falling short, for example, health issues, I would maybe look at agriculture and see if there is food insecurity that increases health issues in terms of malnutrition and so forth. We also talked about how you can, I'm forgetting the other thought that we had, but it's useful information to project. Maybe Sister Doibo, you can share, or Sister Bumi. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did a fantastic work, Sister Glenda.
Okay, can I speak for group 4? My name is Funto, and in that group there was Mr. Remy, there was Brenda, there was Emily. And what some of us had done was just to copy the paste into ChatGPT and ask the question, please, what type of data is in this data set? And then just continue to probe from that. You know, ChatGPT would ask questions. Do you want me to do this, this, or that? And one of us just kept on with those questions until they got to, after about 4 or 5, deep dives, revising the prompt, until we got to a place where we said to ChatGPT, please assume that this is a presentation that's going to a government economic review committee and do a PowerPoint presentation. And that presentation was quite detailed, 15 to 20 slides. And that presentation was based on just one data set, which was the GDP per quarter at current prices. And ChatGPT raised quite a number of red flags by doing that. You know, if you just limit your economic review to current prices, because of course inflation and all that were not included. Now we had 2 others who followed a different route, downloaded some of the data and asked questions. But the interesting thing was that we now agreed that we would compare our findings. So one person shared the screen and two others just spoke. And the findings were consistent in terms of the analysis of each sector. You know, so even though one person used ChatGPT and said, just analyze the data set for GDP per quarter at current prices, and 2 others had downloaded different data sets from the overall thing. So we found that the analysis per sector, there was quite a lot of consistency. Agriculture was a very significant sector, and that was consistent from all, from among all of us. Manufacturing was declining, that was also consistent. But for one person, the person that did it up to, to the Government Economic Review Committee, it was a deeper analysis that came up from ChatGPT, and that included ICT, for example, which did not come up in the other for the others. Told us that ICT was a sector to watch. It was becoming increasingly significant and all that. So I think the learning for us there was that we could use this AI, whichever AI, whether ChatGPT or InnoPower, whichever one that we choose to use, to analyze large volumes of data and also continue to probe, refining the prompts as we go on. And then another learning for, to compare when 4 of us did the same, use the same data set for work, we can use the findings as comparison to get out if there are any hallucinations, and such. Yeah, so that's it from group 4. I don't know if I left anything out, Remy and Brenda that you want to add. Emily Ofodile as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we can apply this, in our daily affairs in the office, in business. Analyzing documents, that you come across or that you want to work with. So it will generally simplify, the task for us. I think that's the application. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you can use it to do, we used a data set, right? You downloaded a data set and you used it. You could also use it for a document, right? If you're applying for a grant, you could use it to query the grant rather than reading the 57 pages of the grant. You could ask it to summarize it for you. Absolutely right. Who else?
Okay, let me share from my group. Just I think we're group 2. We had Anne, Junior Maka, and I think one other person joined us, Natasha joined us. But I just want to add to some of the information that has been shared on the analysis of the data. It gave one of the summaries it gave us. We used ChatGPT. It showed what was growing, what is declining, what is stable, and what is risky. And it says which leads to better decisions in business, career, investment, and policy. I think we asked for a simple sort of analysis. Then it also gave us the top 5 strongest and the top 5 weakest sectors in those years from 2018 to 2022, where it talked about the ones that were strong. It also gave us we asked for simple interpretations as in how this information can be useful for the future. And it showed us that the strongest sectors, which are transportation and logistics, will continue growing, which gives opportunities for SMEs and investors. Hospitality is rising. Restaurants, hotels, food business stands to benefit. Government revenue sources, taxes remain strong because of the stable fiscal environment. Then the weakest sectors suggest that agriculture needs urgent innovation and investment. Construction downturn affects housing, infrastructure, and jobs. Then the financial sector volatility may affect loans, investments, and business growth. So that was another angle to all the information. We asked for simple analysis that we could use. I think we got stuck where it said that the ChatGPT, we had exhausted what we were able to do for the day. So that's from our group.
So you hit the limit then for was it a free account?
Yes, for a free account, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll go through the free account pretty quick when you try to do stuff like this. So that makes sense. Thank you for that. Anybody want to add anything?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, can I go? Can I say?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I was in group 10 with Tamara, Omoteso, and later on we were joined by Rikatamwa. I can't say Piwuna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name. So pretty much like everyone else, I think we found it interesting as a group how we were able to get so much data from just a set of from the data set that we had. Having executed the instructions that we were given, I personally went and selected data that was speaking to the national disposal income and saving for 2017 to 2021. So mine was to say, okay, how do when I asked what this data was about, what type of data is this? Chat GPT was able to tell me that these are macroeconomic aggregates presented in current prices. It went further to speak to how this information is classified and all. So being an accountant, I didn't want to go so much on the numbers, but mine was, how do I relay this information to an ordinary citizen to help them understand what these numbers are about? So I asked ChatGPT to interpret the data in the simplest language that can easily be understood by an ordinary person. And it did that in the simplest of languages, made it easier, spoke to what the national disposal income is. Instead of calling it the gross national disposal income, ChatGPT was able to just bring it out as the national income, which is money the country makes, and gives further details and all. Later on, I asked for a trend analysis to speak to this data and also explain that ChatGPT was able to do that. We noticed that in our group also, my colleagues Omoteso and Tamara were able to do the same thing. And what is just interesting is how much data you are able to get out just out of numbers, and there's just so much information out there. So our takeaway is that AI is definitely there to help us do better, to help us be more proficient in our services, be it in our businesses, in our careers, in our ministries. But one thing we also agreed was that in as much as AI is there to help us be more proficient in our day-to-day activities, we also are saying it has to be regulated. I gave an example of the homework you gave us on day 4, where we had to interview a famous person. And so I picked on one of our leading CEOs, female CEOs in the country right now, and award-winning for that, even at international level. And I've had the chance of sitting in her presence to hear her speak. And what was so intriguing for me was how AI was able to assume or take up her character. The responses to the questions that were asked were almost like I was sitting opposite this person. And that was very intriguing and scary at the same time. I was even wondering, how safe are we? Can we say we are living private lives? Are we still private? Would we say we are, I live a quite private life? Or if I was to ask AI, what information does it have about me? So, yeah. So I think basically it's been an interesting journey, and definitely enlightening and also enriching. So yeah, I think that was from group 2. Group 10, sorry. I don't know if Tamara or Motecho has got anything to say in addition to what I've said.
You've articulated it well. I think probably to just add this up, it was so interesting that actually it gives you more prompts, like, can you provide more details on specific, like it gives you indicators.
Yep, I think you cut out, Tamara. Yeah, it's interesting, right? It gives you more indicators. It helps you try to understand the data, even though you may have asked for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you see me smiling or chuckling when you're talking, it's not at you. I'm just I thought about that as you were talking. I'm smiling and laughing because normally I have to prompt people along. And with you all I have to do is just say, okay, let's talk, and everybody starts talking. And it's amazing what you as a group are doing. I'm just amazed at how you're communicating and how you're coming up with some of the analysis that you're coming up with. So because I didn't give you very good instructions, right? That was intentional on my part, was to not give you good instructions and let you figure it out. And you're all doing a fantastic job at that, explaining what you're doing. So please continue. Don't let me interrupt.
Okay, Chris, can you
Thank
take
you,
one?
Chris. So
Mara,
you can go to live.
Okay, Martha, hi.
Hi.
Okay. Thank you very much, Martha. Okay, so Chris, hi everyone, and this is group 1, and in that group we had Seppi, Goretti, and Monday. And in that group, what came out for us was the fact that using the prompt for AI to get information is very key. What you put in, throws out much more than you can imagine. One of us, tried to ask for it to simplify it as a 10-year-old, and it broke it down such in a simple way. Another person tried to ask it to come up with, as an economist, give me what this data set is all about. And then at some point we even gave a prompt for it to show us how we can work with this data set step by step. And it gave us a list of activity to do this activity first, then next and next and next and all of that. And some of us were able to even ask AI, how can this, in relation to the country they are, like South Africa or Zimbabwe, and then their profession, whether being a lawyer or being someone in mining sector. And what it throws at us was really amazing. In fact, we even asked it to, show us key trends in that data, and what we got was very, very interesting. And so for us in group 1, what we've come up with is the fact that like you've been teaching us since the beginning of this class, the prompts are very important in how we interact with AI. If you don't give it the right prompts, you might not get the right answer. Or if you make it too broad, it might throw you off, the cliff. Like, initially I asked it to teach me, to talk to me as an economist, and then it was throwing jargons. And then I said, okay, let's drive it home, talk to me as a 10-year-old, and then we got more simpler information. So that's it from us in group 1, and I will yield the floor to my colleagues if they have anything to say. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That was good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Titi. You've articulated everything just fine.
All right. So in our group, we had
Wait, Martha. Wait, Martha. Oh, I want to talk. It's my turn now. You got to wait again.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. So we had Pacheli, Olufumi, and later joined by Modupe, the 4 of us. So Olufumi and I got the same set, which is the gross domestic product by activity. And then in my case, I think related to what Titilayo is from talking about, the prompting. So the feedback that came was more of like the type of data. So it gave key characteristics like the format, JavaScript objection, the structure. This is an array of multiple objectives, the content. Each object includes fields such as year, quarter, and various sector economic values like agriculture, mining, inquiring, manufacturing, and so on. Broad values, most representation of numbers, commas, temporal dimension, and it sounded like this whole jargon, temporal dimension, data spans multiple years, 2018 and quarters 1 to 4. 2018 to 2022 and quarters 1 to 4, economic data type, gross domestic product, and gave a summary. This is time series economic data in JSON format, structured as a list of records, blah, blah, and says per year and quarter for Zambia. So I realized, I figured that the error was because I didn't actually close the tab. I was working earlier and I was working on data that's Zambia specific. I was looking at different statutes, pieces of legislation and information related. So I thought I was sort of building on Zambia data inside Zambia. So I had to change to request that it reviews. Can you please review to ensure accuracy in your feedback? So it then removed the Zambia part and changed the data a little bit. And in the case of Pacelli, it actually gave this comparative analysis for the period of 2018 to 2022. She got the data that says expenditure for the gross domestic product for 2018 to 2022, and she got feedback on how it's showing different industries, named all the industries, and then, though it didn't indicate the area, and gave a summary with growth percentages, and also indicated steady growth in which industry, and also gave a downward trend because of COVID-19. So there was like growth from 2018 to, but in 2019 it started dropping because of the COVID pandemic. And then again, right after the period 2021 to 2022, gave a recovery and normalization feedback with an upward trend. So then I figured I didn't get that comparative analysis. So further prompted to get a comparative analysis, and then it broke down. So this also taught us on prompt engineering. You've been teaching us about this, on how that we need to ensure there's clarity, there's specificity, and there's what do we want exactly. What detail do we want? And also the comparative analysis, it shows how that like you are able to do a good tracking. Are we winning? Are we losing? What do we need to change? Which sector is working, which is not working? So similarly, if it was in business, for example, and you're looking at, for example, products, you would then be able to tell which product is bringing in revenue, which one is causing losses, making us lose, and you would be able to sort of make informed decisions with that information. Olufumi seems to have had a little bit. She did explore, but not so much, because this is work that she does like every day. So she knew exactly what she would want to get from the GDP information that she was given. And so even for prompting for her, it was a little bit easier because she understood the data even without much prompting. So she would be very like specific to know exactly what she wants. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Unless my team members would have something to add. Looks like we're good.
Looks like you did a great job. Okay, who's next?
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to speak for my team. I've just forgotten the team number, but we had Julie, we had Doris, we had Maureen, and from our observation, we noticed that when you're making the prompts, sometimes AI will not could make a mistake. So therefore, we need to be very specific in correcting AI as well, because, for example, an example that I gave was to simplify the information so that a primary school student in Zambia can understand. And AI ended up giving information for Zambia instead of Kenya. So I had to correct AI and tell it, this information is actually for Kenya. And then AI brought out the correct information. So that is an observation that we made. Also, another thing that we noticed is just the more you practice with the prompts, the better it becomes. So even from my team members, they put in specific prompts, and it brought out different information for them as well. So from our discussion, we just noticed that with this, the more you practice, the better you become. Thank you.
It's true. Very, very true. And that, Grace, that's an interesting observation. Would you remind Pete repeating that again?
Regarding the mistakes that AI could bring?
The last thing you said. Yeah.
The more you practice, the better you become.
Yes. So prompting is very much, and thank you for repeating that. It's very much like, any skill that you have that you want to be master, right? You don't do it once. You don't, if you're going to learn how to play the piano, or you're going to learn how to make pottery, or you're going to paint, you don't just do it once. You keep doing it. You keep iterating on it. You keep learning, and you get to the point where, for me, I don't even have to use frameworks anymore, right? We talked about Clear. We talked about the Clear framework, right? And Spark, and how those can help you remember all the different attributes of things you might need to include. I don't even need to think about that anymore, because I've been doing this so long. I'm constantly thinking about, okay, who is this geared toward? Am I gearing it toward an adult, a kid? Are they in Kenya? Are they in Liberia? Are they in Nigeria? Are they in Zimbabwe? Are they in California? Where are they? Right? I'm thinking that way, and now, and that's part of it, right? Is that as you do it more, you're not only you're training your mind to think in a certain way. And that is really what one of the key things that is important. And that skill of being able to go in and start with something and then make a change and do a little bit more and make some observations. Oops, that didn't work. And that iterative practice, right, will serve you in any skill that you need going forward. It really will, because it's really about starting simple and working your way up. And that's a very good observation. That was a good observation, Grace, by you and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Who else? The Zimbabwe feedback sounds funny. Yeah. Who's next? Going once. Going twice. Would somebody like to go?
I think group 7 have been dropped into this to do this. Okay, I'll try my best from our perspectives of what we've learned. I copied the link and I put it straight into ChatGPT. And it came up with what the data set covers, which analyzes quite a number of things. It told me that it contains microeconomic data, GDP products, GDP by activity, industry, sectors. And what I really like about it, they talked about the fact that it's for national income, expenditure, component, capital formation, and savings. And then it talked about the data are provided in multiple CSV files, which I didn't know before. Each corresponding to different economic indicators or breakdowns, such as GDP by activity, and so on and so forth. Talks about the percentage over time of GDP growth rate. Talked about the sources of growth over time, e.g. industry and contributions. Talked about gross fixed capital formation, which is investment in capital asset. And he talked about national disposable income and national savings data. And another thing that we picked up from here was the fact that there's something that talked about It talked about the notes and limitations. The data sets is aggregate. Just for national level, it does not provide microdata, which is for household or individual level. So this is for national level. Which I was thinking when I was reading before I got here, that it might be used for other things like, individual households, but as it were, it can be used for only national levels, which I'm trying to understand. That means it's not suitable for analysis requiring distribution of data, like for poverty, inequality, or household level consumption or incomes. And then we asked for are there any trans in it? Then it says to me, do you mean transport and storage sector? I wasn't too sure because I'm just getting used to all of this. And then he did went out ahead to say yes. And then went ahead and I'm like, I didn't say yes. And he said yes, then yes. Data about transport and things like that. He talked about that's what I was asking about. I wasn't sure whether that's what trans means because you did say something about we should talk about any trans in the data. So I just put it in ChatGPT like that. Are there any trans in the data? And he came back to say, do you mean transport or transport and storage sector? So I'm not sure what to say to that, Chris. Because yeah, and he did answer for me and said yes, data about transport and or broadly transport and storage or similar services. And then we'd also do understand that this is about Kenya, data set Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And I think I'm in a group 7 with Olufolake, Takia, Carol, if I'm correct, and Valera. And Valera was very excited when she came up and that, she couldn't believe how much she's learning about all of this and which the same. I think we're all the same actually. Takia too did speak about different aspect of this data as well. I can't remember. And also Carol spoke from different perspective as well. We all came in from different perspective, which was very, very good for us to feel like we can actually put some prompting into asking this ChatGPT exactly what we want and in directions. But the one I just do not understand, Chris, is when he asked me, do you mean transport or transport and storage sector? And then he goes, say, then yes. I don't. I think you're laughing, Chris. I'm
That
laughing as
doesn't,
well.
I don't know how I would have answered that either.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, well, anyway. And it comes to to the fact of what you said before that we must be careful what we put. We must be clear and concise. And then
Yeah.
of what question we're asking, the prompting must be very clear and direct and how long, how far we wanted, what exactly we wanted. So I think I didn't get the trans correctly, so it came up with other things. Thank you. I don't know if any member of my group wants to say something. I was in a very good group, very intelligent people. So if you want to add something else to it, that'd be great.
Well, while we're waiting on them, I would just also offer that if you go to open.africa, right, if you go to that website, it's got lots and lots of data. So I was not intending that you had to be limited to Kenya. There's tons of data in this data repository that's a grassroots. And I would just also say to you, as you're going forward with your businesses, you now have a tool that you can go in and without having a lot of statistical knowledge or being a spreadsheet expert or a database expert, you can now take in that data and you've got as much power as somebody sitting in the government, because you can get to that data and you can query it. You can take data from multiple things and see if there's a correlation. One of the examples that, I think it was Martha brought up about COVID. I had a couple of people in our in a class that we did this past spring, and the two of them were sitting together, and I went around and I passed out worksheets that just basically had the instructions of what I just told you. And one of them was for vaccine data, and the other was for crime data. And so I intentionally mixed them up, and I gave these two young ladies, right? I gave them, each one got a different one, and they're sitting there and they started looking at it, and they took both data sets and uploaded it to the same chat GPT and ran a correlation on it and found that there is a similarity. I won't say it's a correlation because I'm not a statistician, but that vaccines and violence in Indianapolis followed the same patterns. And so when you think about, I know some of us are researchers, educators, business people. You've now got access to data that you can go through and do comparisons that might take you days to do. You can now do that very quickly. And I'll repeat it again, whatever you're doing with a spreadsheet or with a CSV, a comma delineated file, you can do with a Word document. You can do with a PDF. And you can have it go in and query it for you. So I'm excited. This was very interesting, I thought, on how you all did with the assignment. Again, I didn't give you a lot of details. I didn't give you a lot of instructions, and I'm impressed by what you all got out of it and what you all did. So, nice work by everybody. Anybody else want to contribute? Want to say anything about this exercise before I'm going to give you a break, because we've jumped right in and we've just kind of been boom, 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 boom. So I want to give you a quick break, and then we'll go through and wrap up, talk about what happens next in terms of the course and how we move forward. So does anybody else want to add anything before we take a quick break? All right, let's take a quick break. Let's take 5 minutes. By my clock, it is, I can't read it because I don't have my reading glasses on. It's 2:34, so it's 34 minutes after the hour. Let's get back together at 40 minutes after the hour, in 6 minutes, and then we'll go through. We'll talk about what's next and how we're going to proceed. So we'll see you back here in 6 minutes. All right. So we're at that time. There we go. Okay. So we're at that time. We're at that point where we have completed everything that I had hoped we would have completed and then some. If you think back to what we've done, what have we done? We've talked about AI and ethics. We've talked about bias. We've talked about tokens. What are tokens? We've talked about what are large language models. We've had opportunities to interview famous people. We're in the process, most of us are in the process of finishing up our book. Think back to 2 weeks ago. What did you know then, and what do you know now? How has that changed? How has this past 2 weeks changed how you view AI and how you view your job, and changed how you think about completing your day-to-day tasks? Have you had opportunities have you changed the way you're working? Have you been opened up to some of the possibilities of using some of the new tools that are out there, the image makers, the image generators, we've talked about videos, and how do you do AI videos? We've talked about how to generate courses. We've talked about how you structure it and how you use a framework to get started. We've talked about how to be iterative and incremental, right? So we start with something simple and we continue to add to it as we go. We've talked about how we start with something big and break it down into smaller pieces using AI. There's one thing that is consistent, I hope was consistent all the way through, and I hope that you understood and that you got, and from what I can tell, just based on our interactions, you've embraced. And that is human-centered AI. I know I'm sure you're sick of listening to me talk about that. But I think in this day and age, it is so important that we focus on that, because it's so easy to get into the mindset that AI is going to take care of everything. It's going to revolutionize what we do. We won't have to worry about emails anymore. We won't have to worry about our calendars, and we won't have to go to meetings because we can send our note takers. That's not human-centered AI. That doesn't have a human in the mix. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to do that because AI is our thought partner. It is a tool. It is something that augments us. It is not the end-all be-all. It is not going to be the end of mankind, right? AI is not, let me say that again. AI is not going to be the end of mankind. Mankind's going to do it to itself. It's going to let AI, if it lets AI loose and just run rampant, it might. We can decide what we want to do and how we control it. As we've gone forward and as we've gone through the last 6 sessions, think about your contributions and what you did. Think about how you took a little bit of information from me and ran with it. Every single one of you has done that. And it's not because I have some magical way of imparting knowledge. It's not because the way I structured this course is so fantastic that you just can't help yourself. It resides in you. And it resides in you, and it comes from you. And you saw that. I gave you a link and gave you 2 sentences to go do. Here's what you need to go do. Go do this and this. And that's it. That's all I gave you. You went and you took it and you ran. And you've done that consistently over the last 6 sessions. So as we wind up this last class, right, this last official session, think about it from that standpoint. Think about this. If you enjoyed this class and you got a lot out of it, you got a lot out of it because of you, not because of me, because of you. You came and you brought it. You were engaged. You were active. Some of you were on phones during your drives and you still were trying to engage, right? Some of you had your networks were dropping. It would have been just as easy to say, I'm done. The network dropped. I can't get back in. You didn't do that. That should tell you something about yourselves, right? And it should tell you how you can be successful using AI. Because it is not dependent. AI is not going to make you great. AI is not going to make you a better researcher. It's not going to make you a better educator. It is not going to make you a better business person. You are what makes you better, not AI. And I hope that you remember that. I hope you carry that message forward as you go. I hope as you're talking to your friends, your family, your customers, people you bump into on the street. You probably don't want to just stop people in the street, but you get what I'm saying, right? I want you to be able, and I want you to feel confident that you can share you can talk about AI and you know more than 97% of the world's population about AI. Again, it's you, right? It's not me. It's not, as much as I would love to say, oh, it's me and it's InnoPower and it's Emil, it's not us, it's you, right? And I personally am, I get more out of these I get more out of teaching this than you do, right? Because I get to the opportunity to interact. I'm taking notes the whole time because there's things I didn't think about, different perspectives that I didn't have that you all are sharing. And so, as we wind down this course, I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for the opportunity for me to learn from you. And I hope that you got something out of this as well. I hope you got something from me, and I hope you got something from the rest of the folks that you've interacted with. I know that it hasn't always been easy. Sometimes I give you really vague directions or give you no direction, and then throw you into rooms where you have to have conversations with people you've never met. It's not easy. I don't intend it to be easy because that's where we discover about ourselves. Going forward, Blonley and I are going to get together, and Blonley will be sending out notices to you on if you missed and you were there and for whatever reason you didn't get the link in, just tell her, she'll fix it. We'll also be getting together and talking about the homework and letting you know what we have and don't have. Following the practices of what we've done so far. Your project, it's up to you to complete it and to submit that to Blonley via her email. And I'm sure she's on the phone, and she will put that in. Hopefully, she'll put that link in the chat for us. I've talked about, and I'm going to get with Blonley and send out some invitations to you all about I'll do some office hours next week and the following week. It won't be every day, but I'll be able to do an hour here and an hour there. In addition, I love to talk to you. So if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to me about the class, you want to talk to me about how you're trying to use it, you want to talk to me about a business idea that you've got related to AI, reach out to Blonley. She'll schedule me. she'll get you a spot. She's very, very good at that. And while I'm on the subject of Blonde, let me just say that when we first did the first one of these, I wasn't working with Blonde. And we've done a number of these now. And each time, the amount of time the more things she takes on, the more I'm able to focus on just facilitating this class. And so I wanted to just acknowledge that I really appreciate her contributions and what she does. She's not and I hope she doesn't get embarrassed, but she's not somebody who likes to be in front of the camera. She loves to do the other stuff, and she is really, really good at the other stuff. And I want to just publicly acknowledge that I appreciate her and what she does for me. I'm not the easiest person to work with, and she'll tell you that. I'm forgetful, and sometimes I don't give great directions. She puts up with me and keeps me honest. And so I really want to thank her for that. What else do I want to say? Emil, I see that you're here. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I'm actually driving, but I just want to say it's been a joy just listening to the class this last 2 weeks, and also seeing the growth and how comfortable people have become just to share their thoughts. We really believe like this is truly the new way of learning, right? Where you bring people from diverse backgrounds together, and they're sharing ideas, they're learning together, and at the end you leave with so much. And we really believe like doing this the way we've done, especially when it comes to AI and how we're teaching it. And like Chris says, and like we talk about with a human-centered approach, we truly, truly believe when we do this, and those of you that will continue to attend this workshops will see, we'll have people from the US, people from the UK, people from Canada. So the class will be so diverse with people from different backgrounds, but it's all learning together on how we use this new technology to really make our world better. Like, how do we improve ourselves? But more of all, how do we improve the lives of people who normally don't have access to new technologies? How do we make sure we democratize access? That's our big mission. So even doing this with everyone in this group, some of you I've met, some of you, we all are in the same God's Entrepreneurs group chat together. A lot of you, I know your backgrounds and just, but to see how much everyone that's taking this class right now is still learning, and everyone on this class is, I consider, a high-level professional. So just think about those that don't have the educational attainment that you have, and how much we have a responsibility to make sure that they understand how to utilize AI to improve their conditions. And I think that's the opportunity we have. That's the opportunity we want to continue to bring up to everyone, is once you learn it and you understand how to use it, it's not just for you to have an advantage over other people in your profession, but how do you go back and teach and pay it forward and teach other people who don't have the same access as you have, how to use the tool to improve their conditions, especially in Africa, right? Especially on the continent. We already do that here in the US and under-resourced communities, but that is our goal, and it's not open-ended. We have a goal by this time next year in 2026. We all want to sit down and see the number of people we've reached together. So really appreciate what Chris does and how he teaches the class. I really love attending the class myself, and it refreshes my memory on things. But I appreciate everyone that's joined. I appreciate everyone that's going to stay on, and really look forward to those that are going to be master trainers, how we will continue working together to train other people. And I know Chris is going to get into the master training, and then the next automation 12 hours and the agents 12 hours. So you guys understand how to plug in. But the bigger thing is you're now a part of a bigger community of AI, whatever we want to call it, because like Chris said, we've trained over 1,000. So that community now will continue to be together in our communication so you can keep learning from each other. So thank you so much, and look forward to a lot more with you as we go forward.
Thanks, Emil. Does anybody got any questions for Emil?
Can I just say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay. First of all, let me say thank you to both Chris and Emil. I think this has been a mind-blowing experience for me.
And Bolanli.
Okay, I was the one, the video that Chris made with the Nigerian accent was actually made for me because Emil was trying to show me that I could make videos because I create content for children in underserved communities. And we actually have a studio where I have my trainers just go over these videos. We've done about 100 plus. And Emil said, I can help you make your videos faster and more effective. And I argued with him. I was very, very old school in that, no, we had to produce videos the way we were doing it. I did not understand AI, even though I was using AI. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that the things that I have learned in the last 6 sessions could change the way I see and think about my work going forward. I appreciate Chris when he says AI is my thought partner, and I love that because I carry a lot of thoughts in my head. I'm not able to express it well, but I found out that just writing it the way I think it, AI is able to clean it up and produce something that is really good. You asked us yesterday to go and do the AI review on our work. I went back to my storybook and it was amazing what I got out of it. The interview you asked us to do, first of all, I tried to interview President Bola Tinubu because I was so upset about this insecurity thing. And AI was honest enough and said, well, I have only just been trained from June last year, so I might not have enough information. And I told him, don't hallucinate. But what I saw was that he gave me a generic answer of what a president should sound like. I couldn't see my president in it, and I just felt, okay, so now I understand that AI is not even trained enough. And then I went on to interview Mother Teresa. That was awesome because I'm an NGO. I work with the poor in underserved communities, and getting into her head made me appreciate myself and my work even more. And I'm so grateful that I did this course because I'm a school owner. I can see the power of using AI for the children, for the teachers, and just for pushing education in Nigeria in a different direction, not joining all the conversations that are going on, but simply just working steadily and systematically to ensure that we can push the best education that we can afford at this time to the children. And I just want to say thank you. And to everyone that has been on this journey with me, thank you. I see you as my cohort, and I hope that we can all continue to interact because most of us are God's entrepreneurs. I hope we won't bring down the training group. And just thank you. I really appreciate being here.
Yes, I see we are reaching the end. It's almost 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock where I am. This is Noria. I just wanted to say on behalf of the cohorts, Chris, and I see Glenda is calling our brother Emil Mkoma. Mkoma is Shona for big brother. So I'll take that up. Mkoma Emil, this has been fantastic for me, just putting the group together. And I had no idea where this was taking me, this was taking us to. It has taught me patience. I've learned so many. I've come. Now I know so many of you. It has been absolutely amazing to be with you, Mkoma Emil, and well, I'll call you Mkoma Chris too, because now you know what that means. And Bolanche, thank you so much for your dedication that you are here for 2 hours and on time and so patient with us. And for me, from a political analyst, I have found that those prompts and the reports that I'm coming up with are just absolutely amazing. Sometimes I look back and I say, did I really do that? Did I really write this? I feel so proud. And I hope that we'll, you will be able to see you again for the next round. We really, really look forward to it. Thank you so much for your dedication. A big God bless you and thank you so much.
Thank you. It's rewarding. And I'm not sure if Emil's still here, but I'm sure that if he is and he heard that, I'm sure he's thankful for your comments and he appreciates them. Okay, I think that's it. Again, okay. Couple quick things, right? We're coming. Yeah, go
Hi,
ahead.
Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
See, we
I
don't
just
want
want
to
to
leave.
quickly, hello,
People
sorry.
are not
I just want to
leaving.
quickly say, because all along Chris has been saying, Bolanle, 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 I just want also just give a special thank you to Bolanle for supporting Chris, for helping out. Bolanle, I
Yes,
don't know whether you're here. We just want to say thank you with a clap.
thank you.
Thank you, thank you. God bless you. Your emails are prompt and on time. God bless you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, Bolanle. On behalf of Chris, thank you.
I can tell you she's still here. She just put a note in the chat, right? She's still here, and it is, I mean, she's got another probably hour and a half after this with it, just getting everything out of me, and then getting the video, we get the video downloaded, and then she sends out her email. So she's still got some work to do, and she does it very, very well. And like I said, I appreciate her.
Wonderful.
So just real quick, I know we're at time. We will send out an email to you talking about the master trainers, talking about automation, and talking about agents. And so we'll send out an email. I had hoped to do that here, but I don't want to keep everybody. So we'll send out an email to you about telling you, explaining what that is, and laying out what you need to do if you're interested in doing that, if you're interested in continuing your journey with us. So we'll send that out, get that out to you. It'll probably be early next week. And we'll also get out the invitations for office hours. So we'll get those out so that we can start that next week. And with that, I think I've talked your ears off. So with that, I'll go ahead and end the call. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Chris.
so much.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, Bolanle.
Thank
Everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bolanle.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
Chris.
you
Love you.
all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh my God, how do I sign out? Okay, yeah, it is it. There you go. Now.